So you've been following along and now you're a business, so what do we do next? Well, that's what I'm hoping to cover in this episode here. I plan on laying out 3 different things you should consider when organizing your business's finances. Hey there, and welcome to episode number 3 of Becoming a Creator, where we talk all about how to become a creator in a very systematic approach. And I'm going to walk you through everything from starting your business to getting it up and running and things to keep in mind for the various platforms, regardless of what your strategy ends up being. If you're new here, my name is Brian, and I go by the alias of Half Pump, and I've been a content creator, streamer, both professionally and through my passion projects for over 3 years. And it's something I'm super excited to finally sit down and make content around and share my process and share my strategies and what I'm thinking, as well as talk to you about some of the newest technology being released in the market, as well as share with you some of my favorite games and playthroughs along the way. So you can find me weekly here on my YouTube channel, daily on Instagram, and I stream every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday on twitch.tv. And as always, I'm keeping that conversation alive on Twitter. So come check out my channels, come hang out with me, and hopefully you'll learn something along the way. I'm going to be doing this in a countdown fashion, starting at number 3, working my way to number 1, and then I'll even be including a bonus consideration at the end of the video here as well. So stick around while I work my way through what I believe is the 3 most critical things to keep in mind about your new business's finances. Number 3, I believe that you should consider a business credit card. If you know how to manage a credit card, you are essentially throwing away money if you're not taking advantage of the various programs out there. There are a ton of resources that you can read up on to understand various strategies, including credit card churning, rewards programs, as well as money back. There's literally opportunities out there to get things like free $500 or even up to $1,000 depending on the credit card program. So I am a big fan of leveraging credit cards for what they can do. However, I do know that they don't make sense for everybody. Not everybody has the wherewithal or the discipline to leverage credit cards in a way that can be advantageous without them getting out of hand. So you really do need to be very introspective as to what your limits may be or what struggles or troubles you may have with credit cards. And if they don't make sense for you, then don't dive into this realm. But that's why I listed it at number 3, is because if you're really good with credit card programs, you can take advantage of some really cool things, including essentially free money. Zero interest financing is another really important thing that you can take advantage of, that I've personally taken advantage of to be able to upgrade my stream and the quality of my stream. But I just knew I had to pay those items off in a reasonable amount of time or before the end of the zero interest period. I also make sure to leverage credit cards only with spending habits that I would already be partaking in. So I'm not putting any undue burden. So for instance, you might find a credit card that is, spend $3,000 over the next 3 months and pay off that amount in that same 3 months, and we'll give you an extra $500. Well, if I'm already going to be making $1,000 a month in purchases, I'm going to leverage that credit card to do so, paying it off each month, and raking in that reward at the end for the behavior that they've set out. So if you have the discipline and the understanding of credit cards and how they can be used, then I think opening business credit cards is a real critical strategy that can not only save you money, but put money back in your pocket. Number 2, track your expenses. Just please track your expenses. This is something that I'm personally not the best at, and it's something I do need to get better at, and there are plenty of tools out there that can really help you track those expenses, including, Mint, You Need a Budget, even just a simple Google spreadsheet It's free. All three of those that I've listed are free. They do have paid upgrades that you can get into, and I'm not sponsored by any of these software. I wish I was sponsored by Google. That would be cool, but no, I'm not sponsored by any of these products, but they are ones that I've leveraged to manage my finances, where my spending habits lie, and what I'm spending my money on. I believe the easiest way to get this started is simply with a Google spreadsheet. I'll input any deductions as well as any credits will go into that spreadsheet, and there's a lot of tools that you can leverage either with your stream or your donation or tip programs that you're using or your merchandise programs that you may be using that will track all of the transactions, and you can then just upload those into the spreadsheet, and now you have all of the incoming money, and then it's just personally on you to track any of the outgoing money. Again, things can be done to make that simpler, like maybe if you have that business credit card that we just spoke about, you can download the statement and then put those expenses into a spreadsheet by exporting that to, an Excel or CSV file. It is another really cool way to be able to track those, but also keep those receipts. I actually have a box off to the side here where I keep any receipts that for purchases that I've made that have to do with my content creation, because those can be used as write-offs. Now, I'm not a tax expert by any means, but I encourage everybody, go find a CPA. That'll help you a ton. They'll save you a lot of money, but they'll also help you understand where all of those write-offs may exist. And I've been working with one for a couple years now, and I've got some good idea on where I can write off some expenses. And so I make sure to keep a box of any receipts for those expenses over the year and then file them away after I've filed my expenses for that year. Hey, how you doing? If you're enjoying the video so far, consider hitting that subscribe button and the like button. It really helps me out a ton, and I really appreciate the support. With that, let's get back to the video. Now, for number one, what I believe to be the most important next step as a business owner when it comes to your finances, open a business bank account. Now, be it a credit union or a bank, either option is a strong option, and I'm going to dive into those here in just a moment, but it's just critically important to keep your personal finances separate from your business finances. So when it comes to a bank versus a credit union, there's going to be several things that you want to keep in mind. Generally, a credit union is going to be more local. They're going to have better rates. They're member-owned, better customer service. They really do make you feel warm and fuzzy whenever you walk into one of their locations. A bank, however, tends to be more broadly available. They're going to have more locations, generally better technology, but maybe lower rates on things like their credit cards or their loans compared to a credit union. Now, let me sprinkle a little bit more confusion into that for you. There has been a huge uprising in online-only bank accounts as well as credit union institutions. And a lot of the same philosophies still apply as far as what are the benefits of either one of those and downsides of either one of those. However, now they're ran completely online with 0 locations for the most part. Some of them might have 1 or 2 locations in some big cities as sort of a flagship site, but for the most part, these things are all online. So banks like Simple or Axios or credit unions like Alliant are now just all online. And they are really something you should consider if, your business is all online. Do you really need a brick and mortar anymore? Do you really have a reason to deposit cash or go to a new location or go to a bank for any reason or a credit union for any reason? It's just all something you need to consider when looking at your options. What does your workflow look like? Can I easily deposit my money all online into these sources, or do I actually need to go on site for any reason? So for me personally, I've actually leveraging a local credit union that's pretty dispersed in my state, so at least I know I have good state coverage. However, I am strongly considering some of these online only options, of which I'm not sponsored by any. So if any of them want to sponsor, let me know. You can reach out to me. but they are a good opportunity for me to just leverage my money all in the online realm that I'm already doing business in and living in. Lastly, as far as separating personal finances from your business finances, I strongly encourage you to create a business PayPal account. And it's going to be separate from your personal PayPal account. So I personally have two PayPal accounts, a personal one I just use for stuff that has nothing to do with my businesses, and then I have my business PayPal account, which any business related purchase I make through my PayPal account is all gathered in one location versus that personal PayPal account. And there's some other benefits that you could potentially take advantage of. They do have loaning options and credit card options, as well as storefront options if you're selling merchandise. I'm personally not taking advantage of any of those, but it is nice to have it completely segregated for the ability to pull reports, to see activity, as well as more easily manage my money as it goes into or out of my bank account or my credit union account in my case, as they do sometimes have limitations on number of transactions. So if I'm constantly making deposits or withdrawals from my credit union, I might reach a point in which they will slap me with a fee. And that does happen, and those are some of the fine print things you got to keep in mind when it comes to your bank account. Now, as a bonus tip for managing your business's finances, I would strongly encourage you to consider different shopping accounts from your personal. So what do I mean by that? Make a business Amazon account, make a business Newegg account or B&H Photo account, so that when you're purchasing items, it's very easy to understand what you purchase for your business versus what you purchase for yourself personally. And sometimes these accounts do have additional bonuses for businesses, like bulk buy deals or the ability to get invoices or various other feature sets for business accounts. But it's just really a nice to have. That's why I've just included it here as a bonus tip for managing your business's finances. I really hope you found this video helpful. If you have any tips of your own for new business owners in managing their finances, consider leaving a comment below. Or if you have any comments about the tips I've offered today, I really appreciate the feedback, and I'm definitely watching those comments like a hawk, and I love to interact with the community. So feel free, again, drop those comments below. Let's keep this conversation alive. Otherwise, you can catch me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and of course here every week. You can see more episodes here with this playlist, and I also really appreciate it if you'd consider subscribing to my channel as well. It goes a long way in growing this channel, and I really do appreciate it. So until next time, take it easy.